Resume Basics answers general questions about resume writing. It is suitable for a person who has not written a resume before or who may not have updated their resume in a while. The resume described is meant for a person enrolled in or who has completed post-secondary studies. The presentation is also for Canadian resumes and Canadian organizations and expectations. Throughout Resume Basics, you will see statistics, charts, and references from survey respondents and their comments. That information comes from an employer survey on resumes and screening that the Career Centre completed at the beginning of 2018. The respondents to that survey included organizations that had posted jobs with the Career Centre and hired University of Alberta students and graduates in the past. Respondents answered from their experience reviewing student and four-year post-secondary graduate resumes, as well as their experience screening candidates for co-ops, work experience, summer employment, practicums, and volunteer work. After viewing Resume Basics, if you have specific questions related to your resume or your field, visit our website at uab.ca/cc for information on rapid reviews and advising appointments, where you can get one-on-one help. Content is the information that the person screening your resume is looking for in each section of the resume. In this section of Resume Basics, we're going to look at contact information, what employers prefer, and protecting your privacy. The highlights section, what it is and what to put in it, what to include in your education section, and what employers want to see in your experience section. Contact information. The minimum amount of information you should include in your contact information is your name, first and last, city and province abbreviation, the postal code, phone number, and your professional email address. We recommend that you use your U of A email address because it is professional and demonstrates your affiliation with the University of Alberta. For the past several years, some resume professionals have been suggesting that applicants remove their specific street address from their resume for two reasons. The first is due to privacy concerns and possible identity theft when submitting to a large resume bank such as Monster or Indeed, and geographic discrimination based on ethnicity, religion, or socioeconomic status. There is some evidence that geographic discrimination plays a role in staff selection in the United States and France, but there does not seem to be much information about Canada. It is also possible that some organizations may have discriminated against applicants who stated that their address was on a reserve. It is possible to cross-reference addresses and some major cities with a marketing database that stores demographic information, including ethnicity, religion, socioeconomic status, and age. In regards to the optional information, in the case of an online portfolio, is it relevant to your industry? Relevant industries include commercial and fine art, graphic design, music, teaching, writing, and computer programming. Including a link to your LinkedIn profile in your contact information could help if you have additional content on your LinkedIn profile, such as publications, that you decided not to include in your resume but may be relevant to an employer. A highlights or summary section is the area just below contact information where you provide a 3 to 7 point summation of the required skills, traits, or abilities that you possess that the employer required that applicants possess in the job posting. A highlights section that focuses on requirements or includes an asset can help you satisfy the initial 6 to 30-second scan that some human resources personnel supposedly apply to resumes when deciding which applicants to invite for a job interview. The percentages on the slide suggest that this is what type of information employers are looking for in this section. So if you don't have enough content to create a separate section, such as work-related certification, this is where you can put this information on one line in your highlights section. What kind of content can go into a highlights section? The darker bar indicated that our employer respondents said yes, and the lighter color is for optional. You can include time summation statements such as 1 year of experience in a professional work environment or 2 years of experience in crisis communications. Technical skills would include programming languages such as Java, as well as operational skills that only people with your education or work experience would have, such as conducting a needs assessment or analyzing biological samples. Work-related certification includes first aid in healthcare settings and bear awareness in a fieldwork position. You may include professional memberships, such as student memberships in an organization like Editors Canada or the Alberta Society of Professional Biologists. Software skills include Excel, Word, or more specific programs such as SPSS or Tableau. Relevant licenses could include a driver's license. Languages other than English should be fluent or native. Do not include any languages where you cannot conduct a business conversation or answer interview questions, because the employer may bring in a person to the interview who works at their organization and who speaks that language to ascertain your level of proficiency by asking you questions in that language. The education section. The darker color in the chart indicates that employers prefer to see this content in this section of the resume. The mid-tone color indicates that respondents to the survey said this information was optional. The light color is when an employer said no, as in did not prefer or did not look for this content in that section of the resume. Employers indicated that this would be where they would look for that information, not that it was necessary for their screening decisions, so please decide what to include by carefully reading the job posting. Students who don't have a great deal of work experience tend to fill out the education section with more content. However, this information should still be relevant to the job you're applying to if the employer said it was required, preferred, or an asset. The majority of our employers are filling positions that require a 4-year degree, so including your post-secondary information is usually required. Why would some respondents say no to including post-secondary information? It may not be required for all of their positions, or they only want to see completed degrees. Should you include your GPA in your resume? If the job posting asks for it, include it, usually in your education section. If you have completed a required practicum or co-op, you may wish to add it to your education section. However, you will see on the following slide that more employers expect to see this information in the experience section of your resume, though you may opt to place a short-term pass-fail unpaid practicum in your education section. If you've completed a study abroad term, you can include it in your education section. If you want to add your awards and scholarships, you can place them in the education section rather than making a separate section, especially if you only have 1 or 2 awards. Relevant coursework means relevant to the employer, not relevant to your research interests. It also means not every course you have completed. If they want to know all of your specific courses, they will ask for a transcript. Secondary education does not have to be included in your resume. Almost as many respondents said no compared to the percentage that said to include secondary education in the education section. MOOC stands for Massive Open Online Course, and it includes training such as LinkedIn Learning, edX, and Coursera. Despite the claims of MOOC providers, not all employers are interested in this information in comparison to formal education or relevant work experience in the area. You should only include any online training that you have completed, not online training that you intend to take. The experience section. Included in the experience section is your professional work experience or work experience related to the job, which includes relevant summer and part-time work. Work experience programs includes required co-ops, practicums, and fieldwork experience, both paid and unpaid, that are required to satisfy the degree requirements. Always include your field experience, practicums, work experience in your resume, especially if it is required to complete your degree. Even though all students in the same program are required to complete these experiences, every student will have a different work experience, including their accountability, their autonomy, level of responsibility, number and type of projects assigned to them and completed, and the number and type of clients or students that they worked with at their work experience. Each work experience is distinct and part of your professional or occupational training. You can include related volunteer experience, as in the volunteer experience is related to the job you are applying for. General work experience that is not explicitly related to the job that you are applying for can also be included in the experience section. You may want to be careful what you call this section. Some applicant tracking systems look for the section headings experience or work experience and will ignore content under a different category heading. Thanks for joining us for this video. You can receive additional resume assistance from the Career Center by attending a rapid review or booking a one-on-one advising appointment. You can find out more about these services and when they are available on our website, uab.ca/cc. You can also email us at yourcareercenter, all one word, @ualberta.ca with any resume or other career-related questions.